G'day Hexes, Havoc here, and welcome to another episode of Monday Meta Madness. This one is gonna be a quick one as I've been having some issues with my internet, and so I'm not streaming, I'm just recording locally and uploading to YouTube, which you'll be watching this from now. So yeah, this is gonna be a quick video. I'm gonna cover a dinosaur deck if you can't gather from the picture there. I'm calling it Nulzann Caves. It's just basically the Nulzann Caves combo that some of you may be familiar with. It's using the Archon here and the Primordial Caves to do a very nice combo. I think the first person I saw using it was Pentachills. But yeah, it's a cool combo, and that's what the deck is basically utilizing here as one of its main win conditions. The deck itself is just something I've basically thrown together. It's definitely not the best you could do in terms of this style of deck. You also don't even need to be in Blood Wild, but Blood Wild does have some, some things you're gonna want, especially with the meta. I mean, this bunny itself over here, the Rune Ear Hierophant, is obviously very much in the meta, as well as Spell Shield is obviously very prevalent. So Extinction's a nice thing to have. But yeah, anyway, let's get into it and actually look at the deck now. Again, this is gonna be pretty quick. I've got a video set up to show it off in action, the combo itself. Actually, I should have it set up, but yeah, let's go into the client now and take a look. So here's the deck list that I've put together. Again, it's definitely not the best you could do, but it's fine. Like it'll do okay. But I'm still tweaking and exploring options for actually maximizing the effectiveness and all that sort of stuff. But at the moment, so yeah, basically the main meat and potatoes is the Primordial Caves here, which is a 3-cost constant. When a troop enters your hand, you secretly add a raw counter to this, equal to that card's cost. If there are 10 or more, you remove them all and create a random dinosaur and you put it into play. Now, the reason why it works very nicely with the Archon of Nulzann here is the fact that it's got this effect here, which is probably very hard to read, so I'll read it out. It's for 2 cost. You can put this from your hand into your deck. You then search your deck for an Archon of Nulzann and put it into your hand. So what you're doing is you're basically just taking this from your hand and drawing another one. And because it's a 6-cost card, you add 6 counters to the Primordial Caves. And so basically, if you're lucky enough to play this out on turn 2 or 3, now we can do it turn 2 thanks to the fact that Howling Brave is here. But say we were to put that down on turn 3, and then you've got the Archon in hand. That actually just does mean for 4 cost you get to play a random dinosaur. So that's obviously really good value, and you're not actually, you're making basically a free trip. You're not committing the Archon to the board. It's an interaction that cannot really be stopped. It's not something that your opponent can interact with. It cannot be countered because you're not actually playing anything. Nothing can basically be done besides, your opponent might have ways to disrupt you before you get to the fact that you start doing the combo. But once you do that, nothing can really be done. But good things to ways to stop it is things like Withering Touch is a good way to get rid of the caves before it comes into play if you're in blood. Inquisition's another good way to get rid of this from hand, or any discard really. Potentially to get rid of that from hand. But yeah, anyway, we're talking about the actual combo itself. So it makes a random dinosaur. So what you do is on turn 4, you use the effect once. It'll put it into play, and then you just use it again, and put it, again, put the counters on there, so it puts the dinosaur into play. Now the dinosaurs you can get, I've actually made a deck here just with the different dinosaurs. So these are all the dinosaurs you can actually create. There's actually 14 of them. I'm pretty sure I got them all. I may have missed one, but it's possible. So the lackluster ones, you've got things like Pack Raptor and Roostersaur. They're not that great. Chlorosaur also not that great. More of the Hunt, not great. But pretty much everything else is like really good value. Because again, remember, it costs only 4 resources to do the cycling twice. So you're putting that 6 cost into hand, putting the 6 cost into hand, getting those raw counters on the Primordial Cave, and then you're gonna, on average, get something fairly big. Because, again, we've got three that aren't great. The Carnosaur's fine because it's got that nice effect, and even if it doesn't battle something, you're still gaining just by having it in play, you know, then say you get a Crocosaur or you're running Crocosaur or whatever, then you'll gain more health later. Same with Cluckadon, you know, it's gains you health as well. But most of them are very nicely, you know, nice stats. You know, you got a 7-7, you got a 6-5, a 3-5, a 5-5, a 6-4, a 4-4, a 5-6, a 5-3, a 4-4. And then the other ones are obviously a lot lower. So yeah, a lot of good dinosaurs that you can create from that combo, which I'll show that off again in the video shortly. But let's go back to the list, and I'll just cover again. It's just you know, lots of ways you can do this deck. If you look on hexmeta.com, you'll be able to find you know, just do a search for Primordial Caves, Nulzann, and have a look at what people are creating to get an idea of what you might want to try. The list I've put together is basically, you know, I wanted to be a lot of threats. So I wanted to, you know, not only does the caves work very nicely with things like Monsoon, because all those dinosaurs will potentially get that trigger. If you put this underground on 2, play out a cave on 3, and then you start the Archon thing, you can then get those the counters that Monsoon adds, which again hard to read. I apologize, but you know, if you're familiar with how Monsoon works, then you'll understand what I'm talking about. I guess there's the text there; you can kind of read it. So yeah, you know, you'll add those counters to the dinosaurs you're making. So then, even if you do have to extinction yourself or your opponent kills them, you've got the ability to get them back when he untunnels from the ground. So that's nice. And then again, you know, you've got the additional threats with the vampires. Got some Crocos in there. You're still using Runeir. Not really any reason not to, since we're using the Howling Brave. So it just gives us right there eight options that we can play on turn 2 if we've gone Howling Brave turn 1. So you got the Runeir with the Spell Shield and Rhino, and again, it works really good with Monsoon because you can grow it by itself just by hitting in. You get a free Rhino, which then gets a counter if you've got Monsoon underground, and then again, you know, you got all those things working together. And then if you do get him back with Monsoon, for example, or even Rotten Rancor later in the game, you know, he's going to be, you know, fairly big potentially. So it's just, you know, again, it's lots of threats, not much answers in this version. You're very reliant, obviously, if you're against like an aggro deck and you've got a slow hand. That's what the vampires can help, because they're good blockers in the fact that they can block the flyers. So if you're against things like the McBombus champion, which I'll show real quick. McBombus, where he is, Morgan McBombus here. You know, making Bumble bots and people using things like combat training. You know, you've got vampires that can potentially block them out. But the champion the deck is using here is the Kagalichu, which is a 4-cost. Put the bottom 3 cards of your deck into your crypt. You then reveal a random card from your crypt and put the revealed card into your hand. So basically, it's, you know, card draw. Obviously, you can, you know, it's you know, you could use Crannock if you want, but this is basically, as I said, it's kind of like having card draw. You're basically getting something from, you know, putting the cards from the bottom of your deck. You may even get, now there is a bit of anti-synergy, I will say, in the fact that, you know, if we have a troop die and then Monsoon's underground and then we were to use this champion power beforehand and then we get that troop back, then we've actually done a bit of anti-synergy, as we were already going to get that troop back. So that is something to consider. But you know, you can always just not use this until that's happened. That's also a possibility. But yeah, you can use other champions. That's the one I've went with there. So yeah, and also, you know, just putting things from the bottom of your deck is also fine. And then if you do get rid of, say your Archons are at the bottom of your deck, that's where Rotten Rancor can help you and get it into play if you want to do that. Or, well, not that you really want it into play, but you know, whatever's. You know, Crocosaur's a good example. But as I said, the list is you know, just what I've slapped together, and then just some reserves there just for, you know, anti-aggro and stuff, and some cheese guys, which is an option as well for main deck if you want to try that. It does actually work rather nice with, like, the cheese guy can, you know, you can use it in main deck because of the fact that the random cheese he can create, like, for example, he can make a 10-cost cheese Goliath. So that alone combos with the Primordial Caves, as the 10-cost cheese Goliath is a troop. So if it creates that and you've got the caves in play, then you just get a free dinosaur as well. So that's another thing you can do. You know, and I've just put it in the reserves for now. But yeah, so that's the deck. Again, the main combo we're looking at is the Primordial Caves and the Archon. So I'm going to show the video now. Let me load that up. Where is it? Dinos, dinos, dinos. I called it dinos specifically. Now I need to find it. Huh. Okay, this is really weird. Oh, there it is. I found it. Crisis averted. Alright, so this is a video where I've just basically set up. You'll see in a second once I've got this captured. So you'll notice I've got 3 Primordial Caves on the board. A lot of counters on them. I don't actually have an Archon yet, but let's play the video. And it's the end of this is just against the AI. Figured it'd be the quickest way. So I actually use the charge power here and actually get you know, get the Archon, which is great. It's like sweet. Alright, so we get some free dinosaurs. Already you can see that I got a Chomposaur. I've actually got a PvE card, which is not possible in PvP. Getting the Ankylosaurus or whatever. So now I can start the combo, which I've got a lot of resources to do it, so I can go mental, which is what I will do in a second. But again, so I can pay 2, put it into my deck, grab another one, and as it's entering my hand, it's adding 6 counters to all the caves, as you can see. So they're now at 6. Now all it only needs to get to 10. It will then remove all the counters. So it'll be at 12, but it removes them all, sadly. So they're all gone now, and we get a whole bunch of free dinosaurs, and we can just keep doing it over and over again, using up all my resources here. And it's just, again, this cannot be stopped by your opponent. It's a pretty nasty combo. So yeah, just all these free dinosaurs. Obviously the PvE ones that we're seeing are not possible to be created in PvP, but since this is against the AI it is possible. So yeah, just more free dinos here. We got a Carnosaurus, which we could use. It's like whatever. More dinos. So as you can see, it's I mean, obviously with this many resources, when you've set it up, it's pretty nuts. But just even for doing it on turn 4 and getting 1 free dinosaur, there's a good odds that you get something good. Out of all those dinosaurs, we got a couple bad ones. I guess I can't really count the PvE ones. There's some more bad ones, I guess, there at the end. But yeah, that's pretty much how it works. You'll notice I also ate one of the Primordial Caves there with the with the Chomposaur, just because why not? But the cool thing about it, one good thing about it as well, is because you're making dinosaurs, and a lot of them do have very nice abilities. For example, we've got Crocosaur, obviously being a very powerful dinosaur, eating multiple troops. You've got the Chomposaur that can eat constants, and what else is it actually? Let me check. So let's go back to our dinosaurs here. So the Chomposaur eats constants and artifacts. So that's obviously just really good value as well. So you've got constant artifact removal if you get that one. You've got 1 cost troop removal if you get the Cluckodon. Anything with 2 health, you've got Carnosaurs. Again, if there's multiple troops, you've got the Croco. So lots of really good dinosaurs you can get. And then obviously a lot of big ones as well, including a flyer. So yeah, pretty damn good value. So that's pretty much what I wanted to cover today. As I said, it will be a quick video. I'm not going to show any games of it in action besides that short video I just showed of the combo itself, as that is, pretty much the rest of this deck. The list here that I'm showing is very straightforward. Again, it's aiming to be a threat, and it's not as reactive as maybe it should be, as the meta is fairly aggressive at the moment. But again, check out hexmeta.com to find out what other people are doing and get more ideas, basically. So that's that there. So again, very straightforward. You just got very minimal removal in Extinction, Kill, Crocosaur, basically. And then if you get lucky with caves, you might get more. But you're all about being the threat. So you put down your Howling Brave, maybe you do a Rune Ear turn 2, or the Cave, and then you start your combo the next turn. But yeah, I haven't really tested it a whole lot, this list specifically. Again, check out HEX Meta to get more ideas. So that's that. That's what I wanted to cover: the caves and the Archon. So pretty fun. Another option if you want to do this is if you want to get more counters on your caves. Might Singer Alindra is an option because she creates a Giganosaur, so that's 7 costs, so you can use her as well if you so choose, as you can put that in your hand on turn 5, well, after 5 charges technically, so that's an option. I don't mind using Kagaluchu though, I think it works fine. But yeah, so I'm going to be tweaking this deck over probably, probably coming weeks and stuff. But yeah, that's it pretty much. So thanks for watching, take care, and catch you next time.